Hi there, this is Mrs. Piper. We are moving on to the next part of creating our composition. It's telling us to trace around the hexagon. We already did that. We transferred it onto the drawing paper, and it says to make sure that you've marked the dot in the center. So we've done that. Transfer the design onto the drawing paper 6 times, flipping and rotating it so that the designs match up. Okay, now this is where you really need to focus and pay attention, because remember at the beginning of this section, I'm going to repeat this because I'm not sure I read it out loud. It says mark a dot at the top of the triangle. This will be important later. I just want to make sure everybody understands, because before I traced the design onto the back of the paper with the ebony pencil, I was supposed to put a dot on the top. So there should be a dot at the top. You can even write a little T for top if you want. But notice how I have marked the top. Okay? On the back side, I'm going to do the same thing. I've put a dot at the top. Now, in order to transfer this image onto this final drawing paper, I'm going to have to cut out the triangle. So, watch what I do. When I cut my triangle, I make sure, remember, the sides have been marked and the bottom has been marked. But in just a little while, I'm going to cut all this off. So the only way I'm going to remember that this was the bottom is because this has been marked the top. If you don't mark it, you're going to end up turning your triangle the wrong way, and this will not work. So I'm cutting off all the excess paper. I'm cutting it right on the line. And I'm cutting out my triangle. I always make sure a little bit of the black line shows so that I can see it later on. But if you want to cut directly on the line, that's fine too. Okay, I can throw away all the leftovers. And it says I have to transfer the design onto the drawing paper 6 times. So I have to transfer it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And you'll notice I'm rotating it. And you'll find out why in just a minute. So I'm going to zoom in. And I want you to notice that this top part, this dot, the point of my triangle has to match with the center point that I drew on the hexagon. And now I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm probably going to use my regular number 2 pencil, but if you still have your ebony pencil and you want to use it, you certainly can, because that'll be darker. Now I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to match up the edges. Notice how the edge is not exactly lined up. So I'm going to pull it over so that it's kind of centered to the best of my ability. And I'm going to move this up so everybody can see. The point of the triangle is at the dot or the center point of the hexagon. That's the most important thing to remember. If that's lined up, you'll be fine. Some people will say, well, Miss Piper, the edge doesn't match. It will, as long as you center it as best as you can. Okay? So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to trace over all of the lines. And I'm pressing fairly hard because I want the pressure of my pencil to transfer the ebony pencil that's on the back side onto the hexagon. Now, I'm going to pause the video so that you don't have to watch me trace all of this, but I'm tracing over every single line. And I'll turn back on the video when I'm almost finished.